Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time we completed Paralog 17 and recruited a powerful new ally to our side. Tiki has attained her full power now, and she's going to help us defeat Grima, well, and Wildheart too. We don't get any real fanfare for completing that Paralog, except for a bunch of enemies showing up all over the map, but this Paralog does let us buy Arc Tomes, as well as Nosferatu and Ruin. I'm actually gonna get a couple more Nosferatu Tomes from here. And also, might as well buy a couple of Arc Wind and Arc Thunder Tomes as well. Now, do I have any more bullions? Yeah, I got a couple of them. Because checking our inventory here, actually, I said that I was going to promote Donnie soon, and now's pretty much a perfect time. So, let's go ahead and use one of my Master Seals. And yeah, being a mercenary, he's got the same options as Gregor, Hero or Bow Knight. It doesn't really matter what you promote Donnie to, he's kind of always insanely overpowered, but I kind of prefer Hero, so I'm going to go with that. No, you're still the same incredibly powerful fella you always were. So, yeah, it's a little unfair to be comparing his stats to Gregor at the moment, but Gregor here is a level 4 hero, Donald is level 1 hero, and just seriously, look at those stats. Eventually, though, Donald, when he maxes out everything, his stats will be a bit lower than most characters because his caps are actually quite bad, but at this point, he's incredibly powerful. He only starts getting weaker in the post-game, but by that time, you have his child, potentially, who's just as powerful as he is. And hey, I don't even need a regular bronze sword. He deserves much better than that. So, let's just buy him a silver sword from here. I normally like giving him a brave sword, but he doesn't quite have the rank for that just yet. Also, speaking of brave weapons, I actually, in my restarts of the last chapter, I kind of forgot to give Virion the brave bow that I got from a random skirmish. So many bows in our inventory, mostly because we really only have one person who can use them now. Let's see. You know, that blessed bow's really not that useful. Underdog bow's not going to be too useful for him at this point either, so I'll go with Ainz' bow. And actually, now that I think about it, Noe needs a new Dragonstone.
I carry only the finest.
And in fact, Tiki starts with a Dragonstone Plus, but I'd actually rather her use a normal Dragonstone at this point, because I'm going to maybe use her in a couple of side quests, and I really want to save the Dragonstone Plus for now. It's a bit too valuable to be wasting against some of the easier side quests, so I'll be saving that for major chapters, and just using the regular Dragonstone for normal ones. Now, later on in the game, we will be able to buy Dragonstone Pluses, but not just yet. Now, does anyone else need any more weapons? Yeah, might as well get, or just restock that one-use Nosferatu tome. And trade that Elwind for an Arcwind, maybe. Owain should be fine, although I don't think I need that Armor Slayer for now. Muriel has Arc Thunder, that's fine. Get rid of that Killer Lance. And Gaius can convoy those items. Cordelia's definitely going to need some better lances. Let's see. Yeah, take one of those, and how about you take another Killer Lance? Why not? Oh yeah, Rick can take an Arc Wind. That should be pretty much all in the way of inventory management. The only reason I showed that is because we didn't actually unlock any supports in the last chapter. Though what I'm going to do now... Wait a minute, did that enemy just disappear but the merchant didn't disappear? That implies this merchant was able to fight off that whole skirmish, which is pretty impressive. Arc fire on sale. We already have enough spells. This merchant, though, I might like to save, mostly because... For where we're going, I want... Where are you? I want Muriel to get to level 5. So, I'll see you after this skirmish. That actually took 2 skirmishes, because the first one, Muriel finished the skirmish with 99 experience. I hate it when that happens. But we did unlock a couple of supports from those. I was trying to go for Lucina and Tiki supports, because yes, they are a compatible support pair, and they've got some very interesting supports for fans of past games. But despite landing on 2 event tile bonuses and getting the relationship boost from both of them, they don't have a support yet. Weirdly enough though, Muriel and Stahl have a support. I don't know how that happened, but that must have been them standing next to each other earlier on in the game. I mean, they did join in the same chapter after all. So I might as well do this.
Hold a moment. Now then.
Oh, right. I thought it pertained to, using rapiers on shadows to get the first strike on them, and wrong game.
Fascinating.
Well, that does make sense. Muscle memory. Though, I mean, I'm not sure having killing people in muscle memory would be very good for after the war's over. Yeah, that might cause problems.
Nah.
Why, thank you.
Huh?
200. What? What?
Very gracious.
And so, Star was forced to do 200, motions. Interesting. Meanwhile, his wife and daughter are gonna have a bit of a conversation here. I've had people in the comments tell me that her name's actually pronounced, like, Chell. I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
Though apparently without the E, it's actually a masculine name, which is kind of fitting for her, now that I think about it. You might get a little better on horseback in, say, I don't know, 1 level when you'll be able to promote to Great Knight.
Right.
Then you'll be an instant expert on horseback. You have the class in your class pool, always, because your mother had the class. You've of course got a talent for it.
Hell no! Pathetic. Huh?
Well, I mean, she isn't because, anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not really. That probably means more along the lines of, you have talent in other areas, so, like, for example, you might have talent in being an armor knight, so be that rather than a rider. But it does seem like, I mean, I wouldn't really imagine Sully would be the kind of person to write, give up on your dreams on your lunchbox, so... Yeah, I'm sure future Sully had a special reason for doing this.
You can do this. Thank you.
Yes, there is, although I have a pretty good idea of what it actually is going to be. By the way, I've looked up Chell supports with Owain, and I mean, I like the S support, but the C, B, and A are kind of, they don't really fit with it. It almost feels like Crom and the Avatars supports to me. But anyway, we're heading out to the Desert Oasis for Paralog 14. First, though, I gotta make sure that the skills are in order on the parents for this chapter. I'm putting Rally Magic here because Muriel's child already has the first 2 skills that she's got here, so it'd be useless to pass them down. And Libra... actually, Miracle would benefit him quite a lot, but Heal Touch might not be a bad idea as a Sage as well, so there's actually all of these skill options are kind of decent. I mean, the thing about Miracle is that Miracle's more of an insurance policy if you're playing badly. That's kind of how people described it in Path of Radiance, where most English-speaking fans were first exposed to the skill. Yeah, I'll go with the 2 rally skills for now. Shadow in the Sands. Sounds ominous, but this is actually a fairly easy Paralog. Well, I mean, it's easy by comparison to what we've been doing at this point in the game, and that's the exact reason why I wanted to get it over and done with soon, because if I do this any later than now, it's going to be really pathetic.
Yes.
So, there's a Mirage village in the Sandstorms. And there's tales of a legendary goddess staff that sleeps there. If you played Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, you might remember the name of that staff, although it was called the Ashera staff in Path of Radiance.
Really?
Of course they are. I mean, when isn't an area in Fire Emblem home to armed barbarians? Well, we pretty much are fully prepared, considering that we're quite over-leveled for the point in the game you're meant to take on this Paralog, because as you can see, most of the enemies here are level 20 unpromoted with steel weapons. I remember the days when level 20 unpromoted would have been really scary, but now it's pathetic. So the enemy have bandits, Pegasus Knights, a couple of mages, so a few enemies to take advantage of the desert. Falcon Knights with physics staves, they can actually be kind of irritating. And, hello! We haven't seen a clone of the first boss in a while. Yeah, this would be his 3rd clone if I'm not mistaken. I know there was the boss of Donnie's Paralog and now this guy. So, yeah, 3rd clone of the first boss. Oh, and he has counter. I'm not sure if he always has that or not, but, yeah, we're going to have to attack him from a distance. Speaking of counter, there's a couple of other warriors here, and I want to check Rally Strength. Nothing. And that's it. There's also a couple of Berserkers here. They're kind of similar to warriors. They just have more strength and a bit less skill. A lot less skill, actually, in that guy's case. Anyway, the enemies here, the initial ones, aren't too bad, but later on there are some kind of tough reinforcements that spawn in this chapter. Anyway, I'm going to bring Tiki because I just want to show her off after we've got her. Her starting stats are a lot higher than Noe's, but Noe, I think, tends to end up better overall. Noe also has better support options. Speaking of support options, though, I'm going to try and get Tiki's supports with Lucina because they're pretty interesting. Of course, we're bringing Muriel. And as much as I want to use Stalin Sully here, a desert map is not good for horses. And on that note, I was bringing Henry to a skirmish to get his support up with Ricken. No Ricken either, because that's one disadvantage of going Dark Knight. Being mounted overrides being a mage as far as desert movement goes, so he'll get slowed down pretty badly. Gregor's had a lot of screen time already. Of course, I'm going to bring Libra. And, might not be a bad... I mean, Donnie doesn't really need any extra experience, so, what I do want is I do want to bring Tharia, because she can traverse the desert unimpeded. Kellum can't really, but he'll have to piggyback off of her. Speaking of traversing the desert unimpeded, flying units can do that, so I'm going to bring Cordelia, and hopefully she'll get more screen time, because I was trying to get her some screen time in the last chapter, but her defense was a little too low for... I get this feeling that my Cordelia is getting a little bit RNG screwed. I don't know why, but her stats are usually better than this. Bringing Mary Sue, I guess, because she's actually a little under-leveled for this point in the game, which is a bit weird. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Lissa and Owain because there are a lot of axe users here, and I want Owain to get a little bit more experience. Also, Lissa can traverse the desert unimpeded, which is going to be useful. And we have one more potential character choice, and normally I would use that on Olivia. The problem is, there are some pretty dangerous Pegasus Knight reinforcements that Olivia does not like having to deal with, so... who to go with in my last deployment slot? Noe sadly can't actually support Tiki. They get support conversations, or at least I don't think she can. Oh, let's just say someone related to Noe may be able to support Tiki, but not Tiki herself. Weird, that. One more character. If I was using Henry, I probably would bring him here. If I was using Sumia, I'd definitely bring her here. She's not too good here without support, so... Actually, wait a minute. I could... Although Lonku's already had a lot of screen time as it is. You know what? Let's just go ahead and bring Gary Stu. Even though he actually doesn't get extra movement in Sand, because for some reason Tactician does not count as a mage class. I like to have Tiki and Lucina on this end. And of course, Muriel... Where is Muriel? She needs to be as close to this village as possible. And then Libra just needs to be in a position where he can get to it too. I think we're pretty much set here. You have a Beast Killer, and you have a Beast Killer. Beast Killers are very useful in this chapter. So, let's do this.
Me generic bandit, me want smash villages, me love treasure, me smash everyone.
That's all you really need to know. And so, yep, quick precautionary save here. Now, you might be wondering, where is the child character that we can recruit in this chapter? They're not on the map at all. This one's, I guess, at least a little bit more of a guide danger than some of the others. It should be pretty obvious, though. See this village right here? This village is the one that you need to visit. But, here is the thing. Remember how I said before that you recruit most of the children with Crom or their mother? That is also true here. If you visit this village with anyone other than Crom or Muriel, you will meet the character here, but you won't actually recruit them. So, be sure that it's Crom or Muriel that is the one who visits it.
Hello.
You'll know because you get this music. And meet Muriel's son. He's basically just a male version of her.
What?
Excuse me.
Well, the reason she doesn't know him is because she hasn't given birth to him yet. Of course, Muriel will probably brush that off as unscientific, but, well, time travel.
Yes.
I see.
Of course, Laurent has been researching stuff too.
Right.
Say.
There also exists the possibility that you're his mother! Seriously, why doesn't the hat tip you off? The hat and the outfit in general, and those... Well, I mean, not so much the glasses, because anyone could really wear glasses, but that hat is literally her hat exactly. It probably is her hat.
My thanks.
So with that, we recruit Muriel's son, Laurent. The annoying thing here, though, is, unlike most of the other children who can pretty much handle themselves the moment they join, Laurent is still a mage, and he's still pretty squishy, so... we want to get him as much experience as possible, but we don't want him to get attacked by too many enemies, because if he does, he actually runs a very high risk of dying, because as you can see, just look at that defense there. That defense is very, very low, so gotta watch out for that. Oh great, the Vake cannot get to the Cordelia this turn, which is actually really bad, since I normally rely on them to take out some of the enemies here. Thankfully, I think the boss is the only warrior that has a bow on this chapter, so, and I think he's the only bow user here. Now, any enemies that are... Okay, this looks like a safe spot to go. Only in range of one axe user and one mage. That should be good enough for Laurent to take on. And since he's not doing anything else, rally time. Now, this is, I think, the first time we've had a character with multiple rally skills. You only ever have one rally command on your menu, but when a character uses it, they activate all of their rally skills at once. So, Muriel here has got +4 magic, +6 because of her magic +2 skill, and +8 luck, both in the same turn. So, that can be kind of useful, especially, well, there's a strategy that you tend to find people doing later on, generally in later DLC or the post-game. It's practically necessary in the hardest DLC chapters, that people like to call rally bots. Ruin plus Vengeance skill equals never not hear the character's critical quote ever again, so I hope you like Tharia's voice clips. I actually want Mary Stu and Gary Stu to get some action here. And Crom's going to be a bit left out, but, oh well. And switching over to Lissa for her extra movement. Also, you might have noticed that village we just visited disappeared. Ooh, mysterious.
My turn.
So most of these enemies are absolutely no challenge for us at all by this point. Okay, gaining magic is good because she's actually able to use magic now. Speaking of magic, yeah, Laurent is still really fragile, and you want to keep him protected as... You want to get him as many kills in this chapter as possible, because he's only level 10 here, and he really, really needs to be higher for this point in the game. But you don't want to expose him to too many enemies, because
Away with you.
he can't take all that many hits. Speaking of not being able to take hits, this guy is not going to be able to take a hit from Tharia here. And Kellum can take hits really well.
Satisfied.
That's actually a slightly better outcome than just getting her to crit, because that way Kellum gets a tiny bit of experience too.
Right beside you.
Do you like darkness?
I'm surprised she hasn't activated Vengeance yet. I mean, her skill stat is not really all that high, but yeah, when you get into the higher skill stats, Vengeance pretty much activates all the time. It's annoying when Vengeance triggers at full HP, because it's completely useless then. Ow! Yeah, leaving Muriel alone is generally not a good idea, but...
You ready?
And double Grandmasters.
Here's how it's done.
A double Ignis would have been pretty... Whoa, okay. Or an Ignis Critical. And I'm guessing you're going to get horribly... Okay, you double the last one, but not this one. Weird. Nah, that was enough to level up anyway. I don't really care that I didn't finish that one off. Come on, get more points of skill. That way you'll have all your stats in the 20s. I really like it when that happens. Usually the avatar is able to do that, but getting every stat over 20 is pretty cool. What's not cool is that annoying Falcon Knight doing that. Also, what's also not cool about that annoying Falcon Knight is that it has a very, very good chance of killing Laurent if I'm not careful. So, I'm going to have to be careful here. This square is going to be safe from the Falcon Knight, and hopefully I'll be able to heal him.
Excellent data.
Starting to sound like Randolph Carter from Codename Steam a bit there. He's actually a really fun character to use in that game. In fact, every character in Codename Steam is really fun to use. That's one thing I like about that game. Lots of very, very fun characters to use, and, well, generally there are a couple of characters who aren't all that great in that game, but most of them are very, very useful. And unique.
As it must be.
I mean, Randolph's lure in particular is actually quite useful because it basically lets you manipulate the enemy's AI however you wish, because the enemies are forced to move towards it. You can tell I don't have that much to talk about in this chapter, but speaking of forced to move towards things, note these bandits and berserkers. They can destroy these villages, so you don't want to let that happen. Which is why I'm going to go ahead and do this.
I'll be around.
There's Vengeance! That's going to add a couple of extra points of damage to this attack.
Had enough.
Vengeance usually works better when combined with Vantage or Wrath, though. One of them on its own is decent, but both of them at once, but Vantage, Wrath, Vengeance all together is just... it's pretty awesome. Speaking of awesome, it's probably best that I have Owain take this one out. Didn't need to use the Killing Edge there, but oh well. I love Owain's scarf as an assassin, it just looks really cool. See, Owain keeps his unique color palette, and I like that. I wish Gregor kept his unique color palette, because it actually did look pretty cool. Okay, heal your son.
You needn't have.
And in the interest of protecting him, I'm going to need to take out the Pegasus Knight here. Can Mary Sue use swords higher than iron now? Gotta check. Oh, no she can't. Might have to use a few arm scrolls. And we're baiting in these enemies that Laurent can handle decently well. I would have liked a dual strike there, but they aren't supported, so the chance is quite low.
I can help.
Yeah, those are some of the few enemies that can...
You're already
Okay, now we're going to see just how powerful Vengeance can be. That did an extra 10 damage on top of what that attack would have done normally. I would have preferred that Laurent get this Falcon Knight, but... But I'm not going to miss an opportunity to have Owain say, "Behold!"
Child's play.
Owain is so awesome. And that was actually a pretty awesome level up, too. Good luring these Falcon Knights, because if they're attacking us, they're not using their physics staves, and also they are quite annoying to fight as well. Oh, Vengeance crit would have been great there. That's not going to do very much at all.
I can handle myself.
Well, she actually can by this point. Okay, good. Good, both defenses are over 30. Kelm was having this weird phase lately where he was starting to gain speed more than both defenses. Now comes the annoying part of this chapter where most of the enemies are clustered over this side, and I'd much rather that Laurent take them out, but he's stuck on this side of the map. The enemy clustering will change, though, quite soon. Because there are reinforcements in this chapter, but the thing that I really like about the reinforcements in this chapter... Hey, me having something positive to say about reinforcements, who knew? Whoa, very nice! Of course, defense is the one stat he doesn't gain. So, the thing that I like about the reinforcements in this chapter is... that triggering them is completely under your control. Reinforcements are triggered not by the turn number, but they're done by an action that you take. So you can control exactly when the reinforcements arrive. And that, I really like that. Also, it's time to use Tiki. Her dragon form looks a little different to Noe's. Oh wow, that's amazing! First battle and she gets a critical.
Sleep well.
So she's a lot more of a bright green rather than the yellow green of Noe's dragon form, so they do look a bit different. I still wish that Tiki got more classes though than different classes than Noe, because it's annoying they have the exact same class sets. Now, not really sure what the use of this is going to be. She's reading that to impress Vake, guys. Vake. Definitely Vake. All those quotes that are really awkward when Cordelia's married. You know what? Let's fight a warrior. And I'll get into position over here just in case I need to rush that village. I probably won't, but never hurts to have a backup plan.
Hand hungers.
Got you now.
Oh, I love Astra so much.
Impressive.
Such a fun skill when it activates. It's not exactly the most practical of skills in this game, but... Oh, hey, we did lure at least one enemy towards the area that Laurent is in, and he's just slightly out of range. That's not really going to have much of an effect here, but... can always just set things up. Now, these areas of this map, keep an eye on them. They're not going to be empty for long, but like I was saying, the reinforcements in this chapter are completely under your control. Speaking of under my control, I don't want Tiki to kill too many of these enemies, because I want to save at least a few for Laurent. Good dual strike.
Impressive.
Synchronized experience bars, that's cool. Maybe I should have Gary Stu do this. He is technically lower level, even though he does have higher stats than Mary Sue overall.
Look out.
And I'm pairing him up with Mary Sue here to
Just as planned.
get the supports a bit better aligned. He has a B with Crom now, but not a B with his mother, so I like to keep the parent supports even where I can. Now, what to do here? Actually going to put a Wayne down there for the moment. Now, I can visit this village now, but I'm not going to visit it just yet. You'll find out why very shortly.
We can do it.
Hello there, enemy is about to get brutally slaughtered by Gary Stu.
Amateur.
That was even more damage than the last one. 2 Ignis Criticals in a row. Yep, Gary Stu really is broken. And he finally gained magic too, that's good.
Let's do it.
Now I think the Berserker will prioritize going towards the village
Thank you.
over getting to us. Well, that mage is moving towards Laurent, so I can see if I can take him out now. These mages aren't really a threat to him, obviously, especially with the pair-up bonus from Libra. Oh, and that was bad. It's funny, we're not really seeing missed dual strikes until now. Yes, the enemies do have higher stats at this point, but... So he is leveling up pretty nicely, though.
You needn't have.
This event tile right here, you might actually want to keep that event tile around because it serves as a good visual clue to something that will eventually happen. And, okay, you are one space off of that village. I don't think I'm going to be able to get Laurent to him, though, so I'm going to have to finish him with someone else. This seems kind of risky, but I'm going to go for the critical here.
That's quite enough.
And I got it!
Huh?
Now, most of the enemies here are gone, and technically, I could basically just end this chapter now. The chapter itself is not very long if you want to just go the bare minimum, but I'm not going to go for the bare minimum here, and yeah, this chapter's quite interesting because there's a bit of a side quest involving this chapter. So yeah, we can basically finish it now, but if we go to this village, and again, when we go to this village, make sure that our characters are all ready and in position for something that's about to happen. So remember how I said that you can basically control when the reinforcements arrive? That information is going to be useful right about now. So when we visit this village here, we have an old man. Quite the ordinary one, you say. We get a strength tonic and the village is gone. So that guy was the world's worst liar. But when that happens, next turn, another village appears and more enemies spawn. So that's what I meant by the fact that you can control the reinforcements in this chapter. If you know that every time you visit a village, more reinforcements spawn, you can basically delay visiting the villages until you know you're ready for the reinforcements. Doing that really, really helps, so, yeah, good thing to do. So the second village has appeared over here, and of course the bandits will want to destroy it because, yeah, they can destroy villages. So we're not going to let that happen. And hey, let's have Owain use the Blade of Legend. Well, the almost Blade of Legend.
Down, sword hand.
Owain's battle dialogue is amazing. Of course, we can't let Laurent get hit by too many of these guys. Especially seeing as he doesn't double most of them. What is your hit rate? 52%. We'll have to take out some of these guys, but if I get a good dual strike here, which I probably won't. No, I didn't. Okay, then. If Laurent only gets hit by one of them, he should be fine.
I've got you.
So the rest of this chapter is going to basically be triggering the reinforcements when we're in position and then just doing as good a job of taking them out as we can. And hey, Crom's actually going to do something here. I was about to say part of me wishes that Crom wasn't compulsory for side quests, but I mean, he should be because he is one of the only characters who, apart from the mothers, who can actually recruit the future children. So if you removed him, then it's possible you might not even have the character available to recruit the child, so... They actually did set it up in this game so that Crom can recruit most characters, and because Crom is also rally movement, good skill, because Crom is a forced deployment for most chapters in this game, it means that you generally won't ever have to worry about not being able to recruit someone because you forgot to bring the character who recruits them. Also, these enemies with long-range axes are really, really annoying. So let's take out our frustration on the enemies who don't have long-range axes.
Owen needs no aid.
Well, not now, he doesn't.
Have faith.
Okay, and...
Now or never.
Well, good to take out these berserkers at least.
Don't forget me.
Impressive.
Okay, that's good. So, most of... Where are you going? No, really, where are you going? I have absolutely no idea what you're trying to do there. And Laurent can get a bit more experience by doing this.
Guard yourself.
I grow weary of you.
Nice one. Fun fact about Laurent, he's actually voiced by the same person who voices Gregor. Yeah! Which gets kind of hilarious if Gregor is his father, which actually is possible. But I mean, yeah, that really shows his vocal range, because he plays the character with the really thick Russian accent, and also the character who doesn't have any noticeable accent at all, so that's pretty impressive. Do want to be a little bit careful before we rescue that village. I think next time reinforcements are going to spawn around there. There's some particularly dangerous reinforcements in the last wave that come from around there, so we want to watch out for those. Still don't know if we're quite ready to get that village, so... For now, I'm going to hold off on it. Also, you have to be standing in front of the entrance. You can stand inside these Mirage villages, but only the tile in front of the entrance actually counts, so that's where you want to actually go. And that was kind of bad, attacking someone that I couldn't double. Because that could happen, and I'd have to, yeah, waste the movement of someone else to finish this enemy off. But anything to see more awesome away quotes, exactly. One more level and Owain will be able to instantly vanquish enemies with the power of his ham alone. Now, once again, be a little careful of Laurent. I think I have a vague idea where the next wave of reinforcement spawns from, so let's visit this village.
Yes.
Ever get that feeling of deja vu? Really now? The far side of the oasis. Okay. Well, we at least get a better item this time. We get a speed wing. So, visiting all these villages is kind of the, like I was saying, optional side quest of this chapter. Now, I think another wave spawns from the bottom of the map this time. Or there, yeah, well, there and the bottom. Falcon Knights, though, those are always annoying. So the village has now appeared to the south. This is actually the last time the village will spawn. But we have another wave of reinforcements to contend with first.
Brace yourself.
Of course, the final wave of reinforcements is the worst by far,
Child's play.
but we haven't quite got to them just yet. And this is exactly why I had Cordelia fly down here. She's getting a bit more experience out of this at least. Well, that was a nice jump there. And that is a weird camera angle.
I must prevail.
And you would be a Falcon Knight. I had a feeling you were.
You all right?
That was actually quite an important dual guard. Oh, you just flew next to Kellum, didn't you? That was a bad move. So we have a bunch more bandits and a berserker ready to go for this village, which we're pretty much guaranteed to save anyway. But yes, like I said, moving next to Kellum, bad move when he has this beast killer. Crab Lance time! Well, that's one Falcon Knight down. Actually, come to think of it, I should have Crab Lance that one, because then Olivia would be able to Crab Lance the other one. Now I have to rely on... okay. I can still do this, but it's going to be a little bit harder. Might as well just Crab Lance you for the fun of it.
I got you.
Crab Lance number 2. Oh, that would have been funny if it was a critical.
Over already?
Yes, yes it is. When you use a Crab Lance on Pegasus Knights, it's over before it's even begun. Okay, now... honestly, this actually seems safer, as strange as that sounds. I think this actually is safer, because if she gets hit again on the enemy phase, she won't actually die, whereas if I get incredibly unlucky with Owain, then he would actually die here. Speaking of getting incredibly unlucky, not dual striking on either of those is pretty unlucky. Now, I would put Tiki there, but then everything would just pile in on her and just, well... actually, I can stand to be rid of one of the Berserkers. And try and save the rest for Laurent here. I only need to save a couple of enemies for him, though. You know what, I guess I can afford to do that. Then Muriel needs to go that way, because otherwise, if any reinforcements spawn near her, that would be really bad.
Come on.
So, taking out a few more bandits here.
Time to even the odds.
Another Ignis Critical? Not an Ignis Critical, but just an Ignis alone was enough. That was a pretty insane damage boost out of that Ignis as well. Oh, come on, get 20 magic. You've almost got, pretty much almost got 20 everything, actually.
I've got you.
I don't think I've ever seen a Morgan with this low magic before, which again makes no sense considering Mary Sue had magic as her asset.
Game over.
So that's 29 damage to... okay, that was an Ignis Critical.
Farewell.
Come on.
Checkmate.
B rank in tomes. Gary Stu's already this powerful with... okay, how many Ignis Criticals has that been this chapter? I think that's at least 4, maybe 5. Though I'm leaning more towards 4. Okay, doing half of Tiki's health in one hit is actually pretty considerable.
Yeah. Forget about me. Thank you.
Good one there, though. And... oh, my practice run, you got a much better level up than that.
The hero is never
Yeah, this seems stupid at first, but I do have a plan here. Come on. What are you doing, Owain?
Right.
That's 4 40% in a row that you've missed. And here, I take this, well, I attempt to take this one out with Laurent. It's not like I can weaken it with anyone, because everyone else would just brutally slaughter this guy. Though I can afford to have Laurent get attacked by that guy twice, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave Tiki around here, because there are some reinforcements going to spawn there soon. Don't worry, I will have Laurent well out of there by the time they do spawn. Yeah, well, resistance isn't 20, so... yeah, but... kind of wanting Laurent to get attacked there. And at least Muriel can get free experience by healing. Now that I've sort of got the chance to say this, it's kind of weird. I often find Laurent to be one of the children that I use the least often. It's probably mostly because Muriel is not really my favourite first-generation character in the game. I don't really... even though she is a really powerful mage, just character-wise, I don't find her really all that interesting. And good.
Thy will be done.
But you're going to need healing. And I had a feeling that would hit. That's 4 level ups though, which is definitely good. Well, a fair result, as Laurent would put it. But now, there are no enemies left to threaten this village, but we need to be very careful of when we rescue this village, because bad reinforcements are coming. Very, very bad reinforcements are coming. One last wave, and it's, well, it's very, very, very bad. In fact, you want to keep your squishy units as far away from the right side of the map as physically possible. Trust me on this, you really want to keep as far away from here as you can. Of course, the, now I'm actually probably going to... if I separate here... yeah, that'll use up both of their turns. I'll have to heal him next turn and then summon the reinforcements. Deliberately stalling, but for good reason.
Owain needs no aid.
Yes you do, because, you'll probably die in one more hit without aid. Pretty good stats out of Lyssa at the moment, though. And pair back up again. Okay, yeah, so at this point, I am quite worried about the final wave of reinforcements. I think I should be somewhat okay for them at this point. Although, Muriel actually needs to be not at risk of getting horribly slaughtered. Actually, I forget whether they appear from the top or not. I actually only practiced this chapter very recently, but... I'm actually not sure where Muriel will be safe from. I do know that this side of the map is bad. Like, you do not want to be on this side of the map unless you are very, very confident in how strong you are. Okay, moment of truth time. This village. Again, deja vu. We get an item, but, hey, this guy's actually using the British spelling of mum rather than the American. That's actually quite interesting, because this is the American version of the game. So, we finally actually get a hint as to where the fabled Mirage village is. Like, any of these villages weren't Mirages, but whatever. What he's saying here, well, it's actually very ambiguous, and I actually find it easier to count steps from the boss or from the northern event tile. So, last tree north of the Oasis shore, 2 steps north, well, 3 steps north, basically. But we get a large bullion from that one. Now, by last tree north of the Oasis Shore, they mean where Laurent is standing now. But the weird thing is, this tree right here could actually be either here or here. So, if you count from this one, that's actually not right. You need to count from this one. 1, 2, 3. But the easiest way... Actually, wait a minute. 1... Yeah. It's actually here, I believe. The best way to count is 4 spaces to the right of this event tile. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 2 steps down and 1 step left from the boss. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the space that we want to go to. But first, we've got some reinforcements. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Okay. I hope Muriel's protected from these ones. I didn't know they would be this close to Muriel. That's actually really bad. I may have to restart this. Astra is always cool. But yeah, the Falcon Knights on the other side of what I was really worried for. So this is the worst wave of reinforcements by far. Because of this. Oh no. Please let none of the others be in range. So yeah, warriors with bows and berserkers. Not a good combination. Also not a good combination. I believe that's 5 Falcon Knights. Yeah, that is a lot of Falcon Knights. But nothing that Tiki can't handle. Well, I mean, this one does some damage to her, but still not a lot. Third Falcon Knight.
I'm right here.
Can't wait to get my Beast Killer on these. Fourth Falcon Knight. Long range weapon, but that doesn't matter because Dragon Breath is long range in this game, which is good. And finally, 5th Falcon Knight. For some reason, Lucina hasn't dual struck on any of them. Will this be the one? Will she get it now? No, she ran backwards for some reason. Okay, yeah, that could have ended badly. Yeah, I didn't exactly plan that the best, but... Oh, the Beast Killer's not quite in range, but... Or if I wanted to be really jerkish to these Pegasus Knights. Actually, that does almost exactly as much damage as this does, so... not really... not really a big difference, actually. Yeah, bronze bows. You want to use higher level bows if you are going for enemy flyers. With that one gone, and I think I should take out at least one more of these. Preferably one of the ones with the... Okay. Preferably one of the ones that could potentially reach someone. Because these ones will double Laurent. And he really can't survive being doubled by just about anything at this point. So let's take this one out. Tiki and Lucina will almost certainly unlock a support after this map as well. And another level up. She doesn't really need... Really? Wow, I'm getting very unlucky with her level ups now. So, I don't think any of these Falcon Knights... Nope, none of them can actually get to him now. Which is very good. What's not good is we're going to have to take out all of these guys. Okay, that one has counter. Now, the really nasty thing about counter on reinforcements is that you very often don't know if the reinforcement is going to have counter until it spawns, since skill allocation is random. Now, since the enemies spawn the reinforcements on the enemy's turn, that means you can't possibly know whether any of them have counter until your turn. But very often, a counter reinforcement will spawn, charge into one of your units, attack them at close range, you hit them, and only too late you find out they have counter and you die. That happens a lot on Lunatic Plus mode, and it is really frustrating. So, yeah, counter reinforcements really suck, just saying.
My power is yours.
Just a bit of a rant there, but I felt the need to point that out. One of the reasons why I never intend to play Lunatic Plus mode, that kind of difficulty is just downright not fair. You have equipped a bow, which means that I can safely attack you from close range. Will this leave you on 1 health, though? It might, actually. No, it won't. Oh, of course it won't. 2 down, and I'll be able to finish off these next 2 now. Wait a minute! You have counter, you have counter, you have counter. I'm an idiot. Okay, now provided that I don't do 50... Ow! See, that's why counter is painful.
You tipped the scale.
Should have attacked him from long range there, but as long as I didn't do 51 damage with that attack, yeah, if I criticaled and didn't kill, that would have been Gary Stu dead right there, because... Oh, well, at least I demoed how counter works, even though I didn't really mean to, but, that was kind of dumb. Of course, it's actually probably better to take out the counter guy now, because if you activate Astra against a counter enemy, you can kind of get an idea of just how bad that is. Astra against a counter user, well, yeah, you kind of, slowly but painfully rip yourself to pieces. Specifically, his hand hungers for enemies that do not have counter. Ugh, I hate counter, especially on reinforcements. So, now the only thing left to do is to claim our final reward. Like most desert well, and finish off these Falcon Knights. Like most desert chapters in the series, yeah, they're probably going to finish off themselves at this point. Though I could attempt to lure in one of them with Crom. So yeah, like most desert chapters in the series, there are items hidden in the desert sands. Unlike most desert chapters in the series, there's only one hidden in this one. And you get the hint for it, right there. Now, unlike most desert chapters in the series as well, most of the time, whether you pick up items, like hidden treasures in the desert, is chance-based, basically. But thieves had a higher chance of picking them up. You don't need to worry about bringing thieves here, because this item does have a 100% chance of being awarded, provided that you step on the right tile. Hey, they did take the bait. I didn't think they would do that. In fact, with that, I actually can. Yes, I will do enough, although missing would be very problematic here, so... Let's try and stack a support here. I still have 95% hit rate. Should be fine, though. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good. Whatever. Oh, that would have been bad if that had missed. 5 level ups in 1 chapter, though, is definitely good. And with that, we can safely get this event tile, because we don't need to use it as a placeholder anymore. And, okay, I hope I have the right tile here, but who better to pick up the... Actually... Not sure if that's the right one or not. I'm pretty sure that is the tile. But who better to collect the Goddess Staff than the priest of our army?
Thunderation!
And Thunderation count +1. I think that's like 4, maybe? Yeah, I underestimated the number of times Thunderation is actually said in this game, but... This is the fabled Mirage Village. Well, of course you sense such faith in him, he's a priest. And with that, we get the Goddess Staff that, ironically, Libra can't actually use yet. The Goddess Staff is the ultimate staff in the game. It fully restores all HP to all allies in range. Unlike its appearance in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, though, its range is not the whole map. It's your magic stat over 2. But of course, when you get higher magic, it basically is the whole map anyway. Now I just need to heal some people.
Very gracious of you.
course, the downside of the Goddess Staff is that it only has one use, and this is the only place that you can get one in the game without DLC, so use this one use of it wisely. Generally, I like to save it for the final chapter, or for extreme emergencies, but that's just me. It's also safe now to grab this last event tile. Oh, actually, I could use one of those. Although I could have used that before all of those Pegasus Knights started swarming us. Okay, so he doesn't currently have his bow equipped, but let's see if he doubles Laurent. He doesn't, but he does a heck of a lot of damage. I might actually want to take Laurent over from Libra there. And yeah, he'll get totally destroyed by Tiki. Might as well get some free experience here too.
My gratitude.
Let's see now. That does a little more. He doesn't have any chance of a critical, right? Oh, and he has counter, so you do not want to attack him at close range. Good thing that I checked that, because otherwise, yeah. If I did that otherwise, basically, so here I would be taking 36 damage right back at me. And if I use Arc Thunder, that would actually have Muriel kill herself. So that is kind of, well, extremely bad. Might as well rally luck just in case. And rally movement, because why not? Okay, let's see if this... Wait a minute, can you use Arc Tomes now? Yes, you can! Hit rate's a little lower, but you do more damage, so let's try this. Sorry, we already got it.
Divide and conquer.
But if it makes you feel any better, you're kind of about to vanish, like, right about now.
Thank you.
I'm actually not sure if this boss always has counter or not.
Vanish timidity.
Ouch! But he's gone. Goodbye, Mr. Generic Bandit the Third, and another level up for Laurent. Yeah, his magic has a tendency to go very, very high. And a Master Seal for when he wants to promote. Huh, Lyssa and Wayne were the heroes there. Interesting. But with that Paralog is over.
Right.
Well, with a really rare staff. And tying it into the whole future thing. Speaking of faith in a better future...
Say,
What?
Well, you leveled up 6 times and you didn't die. I'd say that was actually pretty good.
Right.
indeed.
Now then.
And of course, it's the ring. But what about the hat? It looks to me like he has the exact same hat as her as well.
Yes.
Simply put,
Indeed.
One viable hypothesis. Yeah, that could be true too. Muriel is the first person to actually point this out, so that's quite smart. Though, I mean, his use of thesaurus terms probably proves it as well.
right.
My thanks.
And so we have a new future child on our side. Next time, we'll be going after a few more. So I'll see you then.